You can send your students to the next grade with an amazing vocabulary. This is a teacher resource book that can show you how. This newest edition of the New Book of Knowledge contains a CD that will make implementing the Book of Knowledge concept much easier. Simply open this new edition. In the back of the book, you'll find the CD. Pop it in your computer and print pages for your lessons and centers. First, you'll just see this little icon. You click on it and it will open up Acrobat Reader. But when it opens up Acrobat Reader, you will see this little box, this little window. Click on OK and it will load it fine into whatever version you have. Up in the upper right hand corner, you'll see the word hide. Click on the word hide and it will take away all of the words on the right. On the left, you see a word called pages. When you click on that, the pages in the document will appear on the right side of the screen. I would suggest going to page 6 because page 6 is the table of contents for the companion CD. And each of those links, these appendix A, B, C, and D, are hot links. If you click on them, they'll take you directly to that section. Appendix A is semantic associations. Semantic associations are what you're going to use to build the background knowledge and general knowledge about the objects that you teach. You could just print one of these pages for the object you're teaching. Next, you're going to come to the document camera pictures or Elmo friendly pictures. And you would find the picture that you're going to explicitly teach, and they're in alphabetical order, so that will really help you. So you find the picture that you're going to teach, and you'll notice that there are labeling lines, but there are no labels. You would decide which of the labels you want your class to know and to add into their own student book of knowledge. Then you ask, what is this called? And if they don't know, you tell them and you label it for them. Some teachers have the students draw and label while they're teaching, and some have them go to a Book of Knowledge center. That takes us to Appendix C for your vocabulary centers. You'll see that there's suggested ideas of what to do at each center for day 1, 2, 3, etc. These are just suggestions. Teachers use this centers in all different ways. Each picture you're going to teach actually has 2 pictures that you can print. One has the labels, and one has the picture with no labels but with a word bank. Well, teachers do different things. Some of them have the students cut out the boat, put it on a bigger piece of paper, and use the labels in a story that they write. That's just one idea. But you would print out one of these for each student, and the other picture with the labels, you would just print out 5. That brings us to Appendix D. Remember that your vocabulary centers are either to activate the new knowledge that you've just taught or to revisit knowledge. Remember that students need to be exposed to the same new words over and over and to manipulate those words in different ways. That's the idea behind these forms that I've created. Most of them are to revisit, so students must be the ones that create their own cards for word sorts and for matching, etc. We want them to write the words. Here's one idea. It's a bingo board, and I have an explanation of some different options for playing. And I've created 3 boards, one with 9 squares. That would be more for activating, but 16 and 25 squares would be for revisiting. Across the top it says parts of a blank, blank, and blank. That's where you have the students fill in the 3 objects that you're revisiting. perhaps a boat, a horse, and a body. Students would write the words in the boxes, creating their own bingo boards. Another idea is the matching game. Students love to play this concentration game. Remember, students must make up their own cards, put them face down, and match them. But we're not merely matching like main to main. It would be you're going to match two different parts of the same object. And then for accountability, students would then fill in this form as they make their matches. So if it was mane and hoof, they would write in mane and hoof are both parts of a horse. I've created a simple word search form, but this form will allow students to revisit the labels many times, because first they'll have to create their word box using the labels from whatever 3 objects you decide you're revisiting. Then the student has to form the puzzle and then collect these, and the next day or 2 hand them back out so that a different student has the opportunity to solve this word search puzzle. Now, I had an extra idea. The teacher could set up a key that says if you find an object that a label that's part of a horse, circle it in brown. If it's part of a boat, circle it in blue, etc. And in that way, the students are not only revisiting the label, but they're also having to remember what object that label is a part of. Students will like this. These are just a few of the forms that I've created for you, ready to pop into your computer and print. This concludes the tutorial for the companion CD. But remember, you can send your students to the next grade with an amazing vocabulary. And you can send them home at the end of the year with a student book of knowledge that they have created on their own, that's evidence of their own learning, that they can refer to for years to come. Thank you for visiting. Don't forget to go to www.makereadingfirst.com. There you will find ideas for word walls. You'll find out about the 4 broad research-based practices for developing vocabulary. You'll find free lists and tips that will help your students develop their vocabulary and general reading ability.